I was a kid who grew up in the 70s and 80s, yes, that's right, the 1900s. This guy was president, not George Washington. This guy, Richard Nixon. We played outside all day. We came home to our parents sitting in these kinds of funny chairs, drinking cheap Genesee beer that they bought for $2.31 a six-pack. They would be talking politics and money. They could have bought us a banana seat bike for $70 or bought themselves a new caddy for $12,000. The fact that they were living through a gas shortage and inflation came up quite a bit. Talking politics, they would talk about how the government is spending millions and that us kids were going to have to pay it back someday. Those million-dollar price tags slowly moved up to billions, and now the latest trend word on the news is trillions. The famous writer Ernest Hemingway has a quote, "How did you become bankrupt? Two ways, gradually then suddenly. These price tags make me wonder." Thanks to a project that was once on the internet that was called the Megapenny Project, we can show you these concepts using everyday items so you can see the scale of what we are talking about. Meet Matt. He is 5 feet 10 inches and weighs about 180 pounds. He will be our reference for scale in the pictures we are showing you. Here is Matt standing next to a pile of 1 million pennies. The stack is 5 feet by 4 feet and 1 foot thick. It even has a 9-inch cube at the base of it. Stacking 1 million pennies would be a doable task. Although, I'm not sure why you would want to. You do you. Matt joins us next to help us visualize a billion pennies. Remember, 1 billion has 9 zeros after the 1. I hope you can now visualize the difference between 1 million and 1 billion. Believe it or not, the giant stacks behind Matt could fill 5 school buses in their entirety. The next picture, we will use a football field as our frame of reference. 1 trillion pennies would create this ginormous cube whose edges would be the size of a football field. It is good to note that there is not even 1 trillion pennies in circulation to do this. Heading to the Global Research Center for Research and Globalization website, we see a familiar piece of paper, the United States $100 bill. The pile shown is 100 $100 bills stacked nice and neat with a $10,000 ribbon around them. If you have managed to put this in your savings account, congratulations! In 2021, the median bank account balance in the US is $5,300. The following picture shows our friend Bob. Bob is looking at $1 million. This cash could easily be stashed in a bag or a safe deposit box with no problem. That is 100 of the $10,000 pile we just showed you. Bob wants to learn about sound money and investing and is hoping to turn that small pile into this pile. This full pallet represents $100 million. Now can you imagine what a billion looks like? Remember, 1 billion equals 1,000 million. There are 2,208 billionaires in the world. The United States has the second largest number of billionaires in the world, at 585. Jeff Bezos is number 1 in America with a net worth of $155 billion. Can you even comprehend what $1 trillion would look like? For scale, Bob is in the bottom left corner of this page. Those are double-stacked pallets that are making those rows. Now look at that pile. The Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, CARES, signed into law on March 27, 2020, provided over $2 trillion of economic relief to Americans. This picture only shows 1 trillion. I guess our kids will pay for that. Let's now reference time. 1 million seconds ago would take us back 1.5 weeks ago, or 11 days. 1 billion seconds ago shifts us back 31 years to 1991, and 1 trillion seconds ago we would land ourselves 31,000 years ago when the history books tell us ice was covering the earth. Your call to action is to listen when the government announces another spending bill and see if they reference the M's, the B's, or the T's and how easily the words just slide off their tongues. Highlighted on the pictograph here. These letters are not insignificant and need to be paid attention to. Every politician should be responsible and have financial knowledge. Next, we will look at an eye-opening conversion table. The left showed the initial value of $1 in 1971, and what you would need is today's equivalent. $1,000 saved in 1971 would be equal to $7,316 today. The $2.31 Genesee 6-pack from 1971 will now cost you $6.39. The cheapest kids' bike to be found on the Walmart shelves is $150. The last one is tricky. If you can find a low-end Cadillac on the lot to purchase, that $12,000 car in 1971 is easily $37,000 with no bells and whistles. Thankfully, the beer is usually still easy to get. Now let's visit the US Debt Clock, tsdebtclock.org. This is an accurate time calculation of our US/world debt, and you can find a lot of neat information on it. From gold and precious metals to US home sales. Let's take Brad here, a US citizen enjoying his guitar with no care in the world. If the US government needed to pay off this debt today, July 25, 2022, it would need Brad to write them a check for $91,820. Don't feel sorry for Brad, they would need that same amount from every US citizen. Where does the money come from? Does it grow on trees or fall from the sky? We will explain this and other concepts along the way. Henry Ford once said, "It is perhaps well enough that the people of the nation do not understand our banking system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before morning." Follow me, and I will help you on your road to financial education and hopefully entertain you along the way.